Good evening. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. First item on the agenda, we're just going to table till next month. We don't have any minutes at this time, so we'll pass over that for next month. Item number 2, Region 2 Emergency Preparedness. Sarah called the other day. There's some changes going on. She'll fill us in with more information as she gets it. So basically everything's going right on schedule. So number 3, Yummy inspection and construction updates. I know I've gotten some emails which I've sent over to Tom. They have a new contractor who they're finalizing. As far as I know, they're still finalizing dates.
I got an email today. It's an
Okay.
update for a definite date.
It's in your packet.
May 27th to June 5th. They're going to be closed, I think.
Yes.
It's over the holiday, I think.
Oh, okay.
May 29th to June
29th.
5th.
May 29th.
Excellent.
So that's Monday. They're going to close all next week
Yep. Into the following. Okay. So,
until they're done. They've got my contact information. As a matter of fact, you can make sure that they have my cell phone information to call me. I can do an inspection before they reopen.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. And we'll keep the monthly audits until they've been open for a couple months and see how
Right.
they're doing.
Right.
So, excellent.
Well, I got to admit, the last couple of audits were really doing pretty well.
They've been doing
In general.
very well. Nope, that's what we like to see.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions?
Cool. Obviously, they eliminate all the food and get rid of all the food. It'd be nothing
Right, you're not
prepped.
gonna
It'd be
store it.
nothing.
Well, any of the pre-prep stuff, anything that can't be protected. That's all it means. It's all of the stuff that can't be protected, obviously, is going to be disposed of.
Well, they're removing their freezer.
Yeah. Well, they're moving it. There's different ways you can handle that. You can put it into a temporary setup. You can have a truck outside to load it, offload everything into a freezer truck or a reefer truck.
So we should be looking for that frozen freezer truck sitting outside.
While they're doing construction, absolutely. We'll just quiz them as far as what they did with their product, what they're going to be doing with their product while they're under reconstruction.
Okay.
If nothing else. Usually, the vendors are pretty good, the suppliers. I don't know if you've ever done it. You ever done anything like that?
What?
Where they have the vendor will send down a reefer truck over the weekend,
No,
or for a week or whatever, they'll do that.
never had that in any.
Yeah,
restaurants
we've
I've
had that done a couple of times at different places. Off the top of my head, I can't remember where, but we've had it done. They're pretty good about it.
Okay, great, thank you. Item number 4, temporary food permits fees when proceeds or a portion of it are being donated. I know that if it's a nonprofit, we waive the fees, but we've had a couple instances where we're getting businesses that are coming in and they're doing a charity event and they're donating a portion of their proceeds. I can't set
Sure.
that up. So, like a temporary food permit is $50, and I don't know, something to discuss about.
Yeah, we had one instance where
Right.
we approved it, but I don't know that that should be a practice that we do
Right.
for everyone.
Right.
I don't feel that, you still have to, meet the standards and you still have to have a permit and,
Exactly.
that's not our issue.
Right,
Getting the permit's not going to deter them from
being there,
being at the event.
right. So
So are you saying that you'll do it on a one-on-one basis, but not for everybody?
I'm saying I don't think it, go ahead, I don't want to take words out of your mouth, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think we just did it on the fly this past time, but I don't think that we should do that.
I agree.
I don't think that should be a practice
I
at
don't
all.
think it should be
think
mentioned or offered
It
either.
just shouldn't be
Nothing.
a conversation.
Right. Right.
then it gets down to what percentage.
Yeah, it
you know.
becomes too much,
Right,
so.
and whose cause is
Who's to
more
say?
worthy than someone else's cause.
Exactly.
It's just not a good
The
practice.
state law does make provision for it if you're a true nonprofit,
Right, and I'm all for that.
and
You
that's
know.
understandable.
All right, excellent. Moving on. This was brought back from last month. Remember, we had that letter from the Mass Associated Health Boards.
The what?
Remember the MA?
MAHB letter,
Yeah, the letter, and it was, they wanted about our support, and I told you guys to look at what they were really talking about, and if you wanted to support it or not.
So you did tell us that.
Yeah.
I did
So-
read it.
I did, I researched it, so, does anyone wanna
Let me refresh. What are we talking about again? It's the,
fracking, and it's,
you're looking for a letter of support, but I don't know for what purpose.
well, it's they're partnering with the
pipelines, the
Sierra
gas
Club, which is an
pipeline.
outreach about fracking and things like that, and
Oh.
I don't feel that that's our place to support. That's my opinion, is I don't feel it's our place to support something like that.
To get involved in that type of a political issue, that's not a
Right,
public
they're
health issue.
right, they're partnering with a
This is- yeah.
separate entity, and I just
it's a
don't feel,
political issue that we don't want to get involved in. Is that what you're saying?
Doesn't sound like it.
that's how I feel. I would entertain a motion, just so that we,
That we won't support it.
That we won't, well, we're not going to support it, but we're not going to.
You're not interested
We're
in
just not
generating a
interested.
letter of support
exactly.
No, we're not.
for MAHB's position with the pipeline.
That sounds good.
Is that your motion, Ted?
Sure, that's my motion.
Second.
I have a
Did you write
motion.
that motion down?
Can you, that was a big word.
A motion to not enter a letter of support. Correct?
With the MAHB. Yes. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
So that means there's no letter, you don't have to generate anything.
Nothing.
Just put it in the minutes that you chose not to, they chose not to generate.
Excellent. Number 6, Health Inspector's Report.
Just one of the recent things that just came up was an illegal, as far as inspection and enforcement, was an illegal discharge of sewerage on Southbridge Road. Tenant provided us information, and the landlord erroneously started pumping out a pump chamber because he thought it was groundwater coming in, and he started discharging it. I told him, I said, it's the same thing as, just because your toilet's overflowing, it's flushing, you're flushing it down into a brook, that's sewerage, no matter how you cut it up, if it's a broken pipe and all that. In any event, for what we did was we ordered him to do a complete Title V inspection to find out what the real problem is. He's got obviously some tank leak or something like that's causing his structures to fill up. Usually in a high groundwater situation like that, what happens if the tank is cracked? They'll fill up and start pumping sewerage, or something won't pump, one or the other. And then he also contends that he's got a problem with tampering of the switches for the pumps. Tenants are switching them off.
Dave needs to put a lock on that.
I told him, I said, we'll have to address the security part of
Yeah,
that.
he needs to put it in a locking case or some sort.
Well, with today's day and age and today's technology, there's almost no reason why you couldn't have it done when the alarm goes off. It rings on your cell phone.
Right.
I can turn the thermostat on my house up and down from Maryland, so why can't I listen to an alarm?
Right.
An alarm company can come up with something like that. That'll be the next step. But number one is we took an action to generate, to get them to force a Title V inspection. Then the next thing we'll do is remediation on it, find out what's wrong.
How many units is this place?
It's only it's a two-family, but he's had chronic problems off and on for the last year. Different things. The building inspector and I have both done numerous site inspections.
All on the septic?
No, railings,
Smoke detectors.
blocked egresses. That's a tenant's problem usually. Insufficient numbers of egresses, one egress out of the second floor instead of two, stuff like that.
So we added a second egress.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And so he's just.
He's been compliant right along, but it's a matter of chasing problems.
So the tenants are calling with.
And the tenants are calling.
Supervision.
Yes.
Right. Looking for our involvement.
Yes.
We did have another site, an abandoned house that was brought to our attention, and at the request of town officials, we went in and did a site cleanup. That was done today, by the way. The trial court system sent their work party down. We hired a roll-off dumpster so that they cleaned up all the perimeter of the property. Police department went and secured the building to make sure that, and they will do routine inspections. And the third thing was the fire department still has, as far as I know, still hasn't been there to pump the pool out. If we can put a reminder into the fire chief I'd love to have that thing taken care of before the weekend.
Is it above ground or in ground?
It's an in-ground pool
And it's
with
got no
no
cover on it?
fences, no cover, no security.
What's the address on that?
9 Ridge Road,
Where's Ridge Road?
down off of
Carpenter.
Carpenter Road.
Oh, okay. So, how do we recoup expenses on such a thing? I don't know if you know that. Do we put
Yes.
a lien on the property?
No. We could do that, put a lien on the property. What we did first of all was we notified and we posted it because we can't get hold of the landlord and no bank has stepped up to declare ownership yet. So what we did was we posted the property with a notice of violation and a under 120 Mass General Laws 111, 127A and B. It allows the Board of Health to go on the property and remediate whatever needs to be taken care of to the outside. The inside we couldn't do anything about. Going in and cleaning the place out and emptying the refrigerators and all that, the court doesn't allow us to do that.
But somebody did an inside inspection? There's nothing,
It was observed through the
there's nothing,
windows.
no animals living in there or anything?
No, nothing that we can see. And we didn't go into the building.
The police secured it.
The police secured the doors. The only other, like I said, we found the unprotected pool. So we're ordering that to be emptied.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I'd rather have somebody fall into an empty pool than a kid to slip into a full pool. Then the only other thing would be, especially people with abandoned pools, we'll pay particularly close attention to them. Anytime there's an abandoned pool, we'll ask people to either pump their pools out or we'll put mosquito biscuits, they call them, mosquito donuts in them. And what they do is they're surface active agents that don't allow the rafting of the eggs and all of that. The eggs all dissipate. That's how that usually gets treated. So the 9 Ridge Road is being taken care of. Oh, how do we get it paid for? What we do is we put a municipal debt on the property. It's easier to put the municipal debt on the property. We've already talked to Mr. Camignani.
So it just slaps onto the tax bill or?
Right, what happens is that takes precedent. That's the #1 bill that gets paid. Somebody comes in to pay their taxes and they find out there's a municipal debt. Rich says, okay, thank you very much for the check. By the way, you're still late on your taxes. Because the municipal debt gets satisfied first and then whatever's left over applies to taxes.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Anything else?
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Tom. Old business. I don't think we have anything carried over. Any old business that I can think of? We did have Earth Day since, it was Saturday, April 29th.
That was a pleasure.
That was a pleasure. That's good. Excellent.
Good company.
Good.
Oh,
Oh, isn't that sweet?
You shared donuts and
we
stories.
did, and stories, and then the stories were held over my head.
You still taping, Brian?
All right.
Yes.
New business. So I do know that one of the big things going on right now, and I know you're quite familiar with it, is the rashes that are being caused by gypsy moth caterpillars and the dust and everything. Our public health nurse did send over a little tidbit for us. She's been receiving multiple inquiries via telephone and emails regarding the news reports pertaining to the rashes that are caused by the gypsy moth caterpillars. Her assistant was able to find out some information. Let's see, some inquiries are received looking for people for an all-natural treatment to use instead of hydrocortisone or creams that contain antihistamines. Lotions and creams such as Eucerin or Aveeno, reading Aveeno and oatmeal and combining the two. Or generic have moisturizing creams that contain natural oatmeal moisturizers that may be helpful in soothing the itches. Also, natural oatmeal bath products can also be beneficial. She generally would recommend 1% hydrocortisone cream combined with one of the above. Calamine lotion is also another alternative. But basically, if you or your child has this rash or severe rash, swelling, or any fevers, definitely contact your primary care if you have any questions, or go to urgent care. But unfortunately, it is out there. We do know it's not going anywhere.
It's
It's awful.
one of the other things it is, it's a non-disease bearing. It's more of an allergic or a contact dermatitis type of reaction. Antihistamine creams also was another thing that she didn't address, but that should be that could be addressed with Benadryl cream or soap and water, Benadryl cream, avoid contact.
It's just one of those things.
Yep. And Caldrill's.
In our case, he scratched and got infected, and that's what
Yeah,
caused what it did.
staph.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
it can
usually
do
the
that.
infection is a secondary. It's because of the scratching, not the actual initial inflammation.
So he ended up on antibiotics,
Mhm.
steroid,
Yeah.
and the
Antihistamine.
cream.
It's not fun. It's
No,
ugly.
poor kid.
One of the other, I guess before we close out,
Yeah.
did we hear anything yet back on nursing services for, is anybody other than, has Harrington replied, has Harrington been notified that their contract is up?
Yes,
Okay,
it's coming up July 1st.
right,
They were supposed to provide us with a contract, we have not received it yet.
okay, and
For
did we invite Sutton to
To provide us with a quote.
provide us with a quote?
Yes,
Okay, we did, and we
Yes.
haven't received that yet.
not yet.
Okay.
That was just on this week.
Sutton,
The Board of Sutton, the Sutton Board of Health, what they're doing now is they're going out with like a consortium or an intermunicipal agreement. They're already representing 7 towns. They provide nursing service for 7 towns now. They provide for Sutton, Leicester, Oxford. I heard that they were getting Webster is next. They
Wow.
kind of need us to fill in the hole.
I'd like to.
Charlton, they're getting.
So they have
Charlton.
their own, the town of Sutton
Has their own full-time
their
nurse.
own nurse.
Yep.
wow.
I know. Pretty sweet.
I know, that's a sweet deal, Roberta.
Does Town need one? Dang it. There's a pause there.
We don't have a full-time clerk, let alone a full-time health inspector, let alone.
Well, that's how you, that's a good
full-time
way of
nurse.
supplementing.
A lot of those communities up there, the Worcester Consortium, Julie is part of that Worcester Consortium. They handle 6 or 7 towns, but they have certain people that provide certain services. They're looking for, I don't know if they're maybe looking for somebody to do just the Title V work, but they've got about 4 people that handle the 6 towns or 7 towns.
What I'd like to do is have them, ask them all to come to the June meeting, and they can present what they have to offer us, so we can go from there.
Sutton.
Sutton as well as Harrington.
Cool.
It's not a guarantee,
Compare.
right?
Compare,
Yeah. Speaking of the next June meeting, the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 20th. I am not available that day. and I'm not available the 27th either.
What are you trying to say?
You guys can run it on your own if you want. Go for it.
Can we use it again?
Can I? No, you
Dang.
can't use the gavel.
I get to use it, I'm the one that brought it.
Look at this, if we
I
fight
said
over it.
first. All right.
So,
Did you
um,
donate that or just
Yes,
loan
I
it to
did.
them?
I donated it.
The
Yes.
13th?
That's, I think that's all
Or did you
right.
say the 27th? You're not.
I
around.
can't do the 20th or the 27th. I have commitments.
It's her graduation.
Geez, I might suggest that you get an alternate day other than Tuesday, but we got in trouble last time we did that.
I mean, we get in trouble no matter what we do. The 20th, I'm at orientation all day and evening, I apologize.
Orientation for. You're
College.
not going there.
Yeah, there's parent orientation.
You have to go to
Yes.
orientation, you're not going.
No, the children go
That's fine,
separate.
That's fine, let's talk
For
about
scouts?
business.
You
For
know,
scouts
yeah,
or
he doesn't care.
No,
driving
for
school?
Nichols.
Nichols.
Nichols?
Yeah.
You'll be
Oh,
there
they-
one day.
You
I
can-
know,
We'll laugh at you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know how important it is.
I'm not going with my kids, so.
Oh, I guess it's not that important.
Well, it
Is
is.
he
It's
got a
just during
dorm
the
there?
day. The 13th
Has he got a
works.
dorm there?
He will be. Yeah.
He
You're
lives,
gonna show him how to
you don't
park?
even live a mile away.
It's the experience.
Do you
It's
remember
the
we were
it's
talking
okay.
about-
It's the
do you remember
college
we were talking
experience.
about that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
The 13th, but we have to check on the 13th because that probably will be conflicting with the
Does he still
historical.
get to come home for lunch?
Yes.
The food there is
So
fantastic.
we'll check
though.
on that and go
That's
from
the only
there.
other date that's
Fantastic
open
service.
would be the first,
That pasta station.
And that's
is
next
incredible.
week. That's 2 weeks away. That's too quick.
yeah.
I'm traveling that weekend.
So,
I can run a meeting, but
It's
I'm
up
not
to
doing the interviews with the hospitals.
Oh, right, that's tough.
Without you, we can't do it without you.
so you want to try to aim for the 13th?
Sure.
See what
Why
we can
don't
do?
you push it up to the first,
That would be July 4th.
no, combine, just skip a month and do the first Tuesday in August and just have like the July, August meeting.
The
You mean-
contract
you mean
ends
June,
on.
June, July.
The contract
the-
ends on the.
June, July, August, I mean, you can cover them all right
June
then and there.
30th.
Yeah, the
The
contract ends.
ends
July
June
1.
30th.
Yeah,
July.
so we have to meet in June.
See about, what about a different day of the week if we ask ahead of time? Like we
Try
did,
that.
like we did
You could do
before.
Let's do June 13th. Let's try for June 13th. Yes?
That should work. I don't think I have anything that day.
Aye, aye.
I,
You just have to find out
May,
if
but-
that room is available, that's all.
Right.
Are you available the 13th?
not in that room.
Yes, but I'm gonna be filming historical, but there's a chance that historical may not, is
There's something on,
historically,
there's something on their agenda. I know that already.
oh, yes, yes, that's right.
Yes, there's
Um,
2 things on their agenda.
So
That
that
was
won't
gonna be a long
work.
one.
Yes.
Okay, so they will be meeting, so either over in there, or the other option is, you still have Wednesday, Thursday nights, whatever, you really have.
We know that we can't do any Thursday nights.
Why?
Boy Scouts.
Scouts.
Do we have to be at Boy Scouts?
I don't.
I
Oh, I
don't.
work.
I don't either. We
Okay.
don't have to be there. We drop the kids off, we
That's
come
fine.
here.
So we could do a Thursday night too.
I'm good. I'd rather.
I'm doing
22?
Thursdays anyhow.
All right, we'll do it a Thursday night.
Moving from the
So the
20th to the
22?
22nd?
Can you guys cut out a half an hour early from your busy
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Yes?
Fred will be doing that one.
Yeah, I
On
know.
the 22nd.
I'm out of the state.
Let's scratch that
Oh,
one out.
man.
Thursday, June 22.
I mean, really?
That should work. So Teresa, if you can check.
I'll try to get everything in advance, to send it to you all in advance for
Yeah. And then
review.
check up with the nurses once we,
Right.
all right. Anything else?
Do we have to talk about that,
What kind of things are they
that thing
offering?
to your right now, or do we?
Basically, what the planning board has done is dropped off, Dunkin' Donuts is going to be constructing at 10 West Main Street, a drive-through location only.
Oh,
And it's gone to the planning board, so the planning board needs to notify all other boards for review. They'll have town water, town sewer, you know,
It'll be set up just like the one on East Main Street.
exactly. So I don't-
I saw it. Yeah, it's like an ATM.
yeah, I don't really think that there's, except for the
think
actual
there-
inspection, you know, I really don't think there's anything that we have to
And it's
send
not
to
like
them.
it's something new or novel, they've already got it down to a
Yeah.
science.
So, but you can peruse it at your pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Take your time. Hurry
So we
up.
don't have to vote on it or do anything with it, it's just.
It's more of an
just,
FYI.
Oh, did you want to
Yeah.
look at this?
I've already seen
This
it.
is too many
Thank you.
pages. I think I'm all set.
Okay, so that being said,
Uh-huh.
Are we,
I'll entertain a motion.
You have to agree to let them do it.
No, they're doing it.
Oh. So then
It's
why
just
do we
a
have-
courtesy.
Oh, that's so kind of us.
There's little subjectivity that's involved, that could be involved, you know.
So it's next to, it's on the same street where,
it's right next to where
Dollar
they took
General
down
is?
the Stephen Linen, was it Stephen Linens, that brick,
Yeah.
that
You
stone
know where
building?
they just took down the stone
Yeah.
building, then there was a gas station that they
Yes,
just took
they
down?
put it
That's
there.
where they're gonna be.
Jim Sally's place was there, and then the gas station was there.
I don't know.
Showing your age.
I'm like, I'm from Worcester. I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
he's showing his age,
Oh.
don't worry about it.
Jim Sally?
Anything else?
No.
I'll make the motion then.
Oh, sorry, I
adjourn.
was talking to Brian.
I make a motion to adjourn at 6:58.
I have a motion, a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, meeting is, all in favor, sorry?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.